Welcome to the world of organized crime, where power and loyalty are everything. From the slick gangsters of the 1920s to the ruthless drug lords of today. These are men and women who played the game of crime and came out on top, leaving a legacy that is still felt in popular culture today. So buckle up and prepare to meet some of the most notorious figures in mob history. Number 1. We have Vincent Gigante. Vincent Gigante, a notorious mobster, was the leader of the Genovese crime family, one of the most powerful and influential Italian-American mafia families in America, but his legacy raises some interesting issues. How did he gain control of some of New York City's largest labor unions? How did he avoid arrest for so long despite engaging in a slew of illegal activities? And perhaps, most intriguingly, was his public act of insanity a ruse, or did he suffer from mental illness? Whatever the answers are to these questions, there is no denying that Vincent Gigante is a fascinating and mysterious figure in mob history. Gigante's strategy worked for years, and he avoided arrest despite being involved in extortion, money laundering, and racketeering. He even gained control of some of the city's most powerful labor unions, earning him millions of dollars in illegal profits. But his luck was not always with him. After an extensive investigation, he was arrested and charged with multiple counts of murder, racketeering, and other crimes. To this day, he remains one of the most legendary figures in the world of organized crime, a testament to his power, cunning, and enduring influence. Number 2. Tony Accardo. Tony Accardo is a name that scares both mobsters and law enforcement. He was born in Italy in 1906, immigrated to the United States as a child, and quickly rose to the ranks of the Chicago outfit, becoming one of the city's most powerful mob bosses. He was also called Joe Batters for his ruthless approach to dealing with anyone who dared to cross him, and he controlled everything from gambling to prostitution, earning him millions of dollars in illegal profits. But could he maintain a low profile, never seeking the spotlight or drawing attention to himself, the self that set him apart? As a result, he earned the respect of his peers and became a difficult target for law enforcement. From the St. Valentine's Day massacre to the height of the Prohibition era, Tony Accardo was at the center of it all, making him one of the most notorious and legendary figures in the world of organized crime. Number 3. Carmine the Snake Persico. Carmine the Snake Persico was a legendary figure in the world of organized crime. But how did Carmine Persico earn his infamous nickname, the Snake? Was it because of his sly and cunning nature? Whatever the reason, there is no denying that Persico was one of the most successful and feared mob bosses of his time. One of Persico's most notable achievements was the establishment of the Colombo Crimes Family Top Echelon program. This program ensured that only the most loyal and trustworthy members of the family were allowed to hold positions of power, allowing them to maintain their strength and influence. However, Persico was not above the law. Throughout his life, he was convicted of numerous crimes, including racketeering, extortion, and murder. As a result, he spent much of his life behind bars, but even while in prison, he continued to wield power over the Colombo crime family. Number 4. Benjamin Bugsy Siegel. Benjamin Bugsy Siegel lived a life filled with crime, power, and betrayal. But what motivated him to become such a notorious figure in the first place? Was it his desire for wealth and status, or was he simply born to be a mobster? These are questions that continue to both haunt and fascinate those who study the history of organized crime. Siegel was known for his ruthless tactics and ambitious nature, rising through the ranks of multiple crime families to become a significant player in the Las Vegas underworld. He played a pivotal role in the development of the gambling industry in Las Vegas and was instrumental in the construction of several iconic casinos, including the Flamingo Hotel and Casino. Number 5. Anthony Fat Tony Salerno. Anthony Fat Tony Salerno was a larger-than-life figure in organized crime, known for his enormous power and influence. Salerno quickly rose to the ranks of the Genovese crime family to become one of New York's Mafia's most notorious figures. He was involved in a variety of illegal activities such as racketeering, extortion, and money laundering, but his specialty was working in the construction industry, where he used his connections and influence to control contracts and ensure his cut of the profits. Despite being indicted multiple times, Salerno escaped conviction for years, earning him the nickname the Fat Tony for his apparent invincibility. He is still regarded as a legend in the annals of organized crime, a testament to the power and influence that those with the knowledge and resources to make their mark can wield. Number 6. Anthony Provenzano. Anthony Provenzano, also known as Tony Pro, was a notorious mobster and labor union leader born in New York City in 1917. He rose to the ranks of the Genovese crime family, eventually becoming a caporegime or captain and commanding a powerful labor union in New Jersey. In 1961, he was convicted of extortion and sentenced to 7 years in prison. He was known for commanding his operations from the prison yard via his loyal soldiers on the outside. Provenzano was eventually released from prison in 1978, but was later arrested and convicted on other charges. In the end, Provenzano was sentenced to life in prison and died in there in 1988. Nonetheless, his reputation as a ruthless mobster and union boss has left an indelible mark on the history of organized crime. Number 7. Paul Castellano. Paul Castellano's life was filled with intrigue, danger, and betrayal. But what motivated him to become such a notorious figure in the underworld? The life of Paul Castellano is a fascinating, albeit dark, chapter in the history of organized crime, one that continues to captivate the public imagination to this day. Castellano was a mastermind in the art of racketeering, extortion, and smuggling. His business acumen, coupled with his ruthless nature, made him a formidable figure in the world of organized crime. Castellano established himself as a legitimate businessman, owning construction companies, real estate ventures, and other enterprises. Despite his controversial legacy, Paul Castellano will always be remembered as a legendary figure in the world of organized crime for his unparalleled skill in building and managing a vast criminal empire. Number 8. Crazy Joe Gallo. Crazy Joe Gallo was a notorious mobster born in Brooklyn in 1929. He quickly rose to become a prominent figure in the Profasi crime family, later renamed to the Colombo crime family. Gallo was notorious for his violent temper, erratic behavior, and sometimes bizarre sense of humor. He was also known for his penchant for poetry, writing verses and reciting them to anyone who would listen. Gallo's most famous incident came in 1971 when he was gunned down at Umberto's clam house in Little Italy. At the time, Gallo was involved in a bitter feud with the leadership of the Colombo crime family, and the hit was widely believed to have been carried out on their orders. Gallo's death made him a martyr in the eyes of some, who saw him as a fearless warrior battling against the old guard, the Mafia. But what drove Gallo to become such a notorious figure in the first place? Was it his struggle for power and respect in the underworld, or was he simply a man controlled by his violent impulses and addiction to adrenaline? It's hard to say for sure, but one thing is clear. Crazy Joe Gallo was a legend in the American Mafia, an enigmatic and unpredictable figure whose legacy lives on to this day. In the world of organized crime, there are certain figures who stand out as legends. Which of them have you found interesting? Let us know in the comments. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to know more about the criminal world.